Immortus Temporus is a speedrunner game made by speedrunners for speedrunners, and it's frankly a speedrunner's wet dream. There, I've said it. All this game is about is getting your character from A to B as quickly and efficiently as possible, utilising the mechanics to try and shortcut as much of the journey as possible and therefore beat the clock time that you're aiming for. In each of the levels in Immortus Temporus, you play as this like disc, and you'll be trying to get from the entrance point to your exit, but the exit only opens when you touch all of the lights in the level. And that's kind of the first mechanic, so you'll be trying to plot out how to get to those as quickly and easy as possible. But scattered across all of these levels are warp points, and what the warp point will do is bring you back to wherever the start point in the level is time and time again. And so what you need to do is factor in, because the clock certainly has, for you the time that you need to beat to progress for the level, how to collect the lights, bump the warp pads to bring you back to centre, to cut off part of your journey and then go again. So a lot of this game actually requires a little bit of forward planning and a little bit of play and exploration to understand what's the quickest route around. But how this kind of plays into the game in a much wider context is that those warp pads, once you use them once, often then deactivate. And so some of the levels are designed about you touching warp pads to get round the thing as quickly as possible. Some of them are set up almost like a precision platformer, but like from a top-down perspective, where the warp pads spin around and rotate, and you've got to kind of dodge them all, because otherwise it will take you back to the beginning of the level, thus costing you time. So it's better to be precise. Other levels are almost built like breakout levels where you've got to smash through these things in the most efficient way. And what I really liked about this game is that it takes that one mechanic and does so many different things with them that it keeps you on your toes throughout the gaming experience and never gets dull, because it's always offering up new and interesting ways of presenting these kind of warp pads to you. Sometimes, though, the warp pads will not deactivate and they become almost like death back to beginning obstacles that you need to kind of clear or avoid or sort. And some of the later levels incorporate the warp pads with some of these things that don't disappear and send you back to the beginning, along with the lights itself. And it also likes to do some like wah switcheroo moments where actually, and you judge these by like the title name. It's one of those games where you read the title of the level and you're like, what have they changed this time? So sometimes like the colours will fade to monochrome, so you don't know what's a warp pad and what's a light. Although there's a difference usually in size, sometimes they'll flip those around and it'll be like, the level will be like, not quite what it seems. And then you're like, why am I dying when I keep hitting the lights? And then you're like, they're warp pads. So there's a bit of exploration and fun to be had. If you're struggling though, from a speedrunner's perspective, what I also really liked about this game is that not only does it handle well and it's precise and it's sturdy and predictable, which is something you really need for speedrunning games, so I'm delighted that it is. You can also turn off the speedrunning aspect so that instead of levels taking anywhere from like 5 seconds to 20 seconds, depending on how complex it is, you can actually just turn that all off and just have a 99-second timer that tricks down. And that is more than enough time for you to really ham-fist your way through some of these levels. And I was doing that later on in the game so that I could then explore the level design, and then I'd work out afterwards what was the way that I wanted to do it quicker. So I like that this game allows you to kind of tackle it however you want. It is relatively simple to get the platinum or full achievements, because they stop out after the first 30 levels, but there's tons more after that, 100 in total, but you can skip up to 30 of them. So if you find yourself kind of wanting to go against the clock but choose a skip function, you can attack it that way too. Overall, it looks simple, it plays simply, but it's a good challenge, and I think anyone who's a speedrunner would do well to look at Immortus Temporus, especially for its relatively cheap price too. Written review will be over on highplanegames.com over the weekend. You guys take care. Bye-bye. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.